Okay, so today we're going to do a deep dive into something that everyone seems to be talking about these days,
Hmm.
which is artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
or as the
Yes.
cool kids call it, AI.
AI.
But we're not going to, talk about all the amazing things it can do. We're not going to
Mm-mm.
talk about all the, great advances and all the cool things that are being done.
Sure.
What we're going to look at is the other side of the coin,
Yeah.
the the potential drawbacks, the downsides
Yeah.
to this AI revolution that we seem to be going through.
Right.
Because like anything else, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And powerful things can be
Hmm.
used for good or bad.
Yeah, it's like fire, right?
Exactly.
Fire can keep you warm, cook your food, but
Oh,
it can also burn your house down if you're not careful,
exactly.
you know?
So when you think about AI, when you think about the drawbacks,
Yeah.
what is it that comes to mind first?
Well, I think one of the things that people worry about the most, and I share this worry, is the potential for AI to really disrupt the job market on a massive scale. And, we're not just talking about factory workers being replaced by robots anymore,
Right.
This is AI is getting so sophisticated that it can potentially automate tasks in fields like, law, finance, even creative industries.
Wow.
Imagine a world where AI is writing, marketing, copy composing music,
Right.
even diagnosing illnesses.
That's a little scary.
Yeah, it's a little bit mind-blowing and not necessarily in a good way.
Right, because what happens to all the people?
Exactly.
If their jobs are being taken over by robots and AI.
That's the big question, right?
Right.
What happens to all those people? And it's not like everyone can become, an AI programmer overnight.
Right.
So there's this huge potential for, societal disruption.
Yeah, and economic consequences, I would think, as well.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, it could exacerbate existing inequalities, if we're not careful. AI could create a world where a select few who, understand and control the technology benefit immensely
Uh-huh.
while everyone else is left behind.
So it really comes down to the people who are developing it
In a lot of ways,
to sort of, keep in mind the ethical consequences of what they're doing.
Exactly.
But it's not all doom and gloom, is it?
No, no, not at all.
I mean, there must be ways to kind of mitigate these risks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the key things is to focus on developing AI systems that are fair and unbiased.
Okay.
AI algorithms learn from the data they're fed.
Right.
So if the data is biased,
Right.
the AI will be biased too.
Well, how do you make sure that the data isn't biased in the first place?
Well, that's a huge challenge.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult, but there are techniques being developed to, identify and mitigate bias in data sets and algorithms. It involves things like, carefully auditing the data for biases, using diverse teams to develop the AI, and then constantly testing and monitoring the AI's output for signs of unfairness.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process, and there's no magic bullet, but it's essential to be aware of the issue and actively working to address it.
So besides job displacement and
Yeah.
bias, what are some other potential drawbacks we should be thinking about?
Well, something that I think often gets overlooked is the impact of AI on human skills and decision making. You know,
Okay.
we're becoming so reliant on AI for everything from, navigation to recommendations that we might be losing some of our own critical thinking abilities.
Yeah.
For example, if you rely on AI for all your news and information, you might be less likely to question the sources
Right.
or seek out diverse perspectives.
It's like we're outsourcing our brains to algorithms,
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, isn't it?
which maybe isn't a good thing.
And that's the question, right?
Right.
Is that a good thing in the long run? It's great to have tools that make our lives easier, but we need to make sure we're not becoming too dependent on those tools
Uh-huh.
to the point where we lose our own agency and critical thinking skills.
Right.
We need to remember that, AI should be a tool to augment human capabilities, not replace them entirely.
So it sounds like it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how we use it
Exactly.
and being mindful of the potential consequences and finding ways to use it responsibly and ethically.
Yeah, I mean that's the key, right? I mean, who's responsible for making sure that that happens?
Right.
Is the tech companies developing the AI? Governments?
Yeah.
Or each of us individually?
I think it's probably all of the above.
Yeah.
We all have to take some responsibility.
It's a collaborative thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, tech companies need to prioritize ethical considerations in their development processes.
Right.
Governments need to establish regulations and guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And we as individuals need to, stay informed and use AI tools critically and responsibly.
Yeah, be thoughtful about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a complex issue
It is.
with no easy answers.
No.
But it's something we all need to be thinking about.
Yeah, and talking about.
Yeah.
For sure.
So any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
Well, I think just as AI continues to evolve and become more integrated into our lives, it's essential to keep asking ourselves, what do we want our future with AI to look like?
Yeah.
Let's not just passively accept whatever technology is thrown at us,
Right.
but actively shape its development and use in ways that benefit humanity as a whole.
Words to live by.
You got it.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.